Starting recording. Great. Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to today's class. Today we are going to not complete actually. We might need one more class, um, and then personality will be over. Right? I hope you guys are in touch with the syllabus of personality because बहुत सारा syllabus है, and it's very easy because we've done everything very well. ठीक है. Let me see if this is writing. सच कुछ writing की जरूरत है नहीं इतनी. Still. Okay, it is. Great. Okay. Wow, psychology जब मैं पढ़ाता हूँ तब no technical errors, nothing. Everything goes so well. Let's start. So today we are going to learn about the trait and type approach, mostly trait, right? Now, can anyone tell me what is the trait approach? What is the type approach? You can unmute also. What is the trait approach? What is the type approach? What do you mean? In your imagination, building blocks. Yes, I was waiting only. But aren't those cells? How can traits be the building blocks? And what do you mean by building blocks? What do you mean? Any guesses? Any guesses? Mhm. Okay. So we're already, I think, late, but this is a small class. So 45 minutes, I think we should be done. I'll do MCQ next class because you've already done so many today. ठीक है. Let's start. Trait defining someone by specific features, type, collection of features. That's very interesting. Can you give me an example of type approach ka theory? One example. Any examples that come to mind? INFT, that's not a theory. That's my internet service provider or something. Type A, type B, type C, MBTI. Yes. MBTI was influenced by which psychoanalyst? And they got them completely wrong. Do you remember? Yes, Yoga, correct. Okay. Do you want me to write with this disappearing thing or normal only? Non-disappearing. अरे स्केल क्यों आ गई? Normal, please. Yeah, but this looks so nice. Normal next time. इस बार आज ये करते हैं disappear. उड़ जाता है. अरे तो वो तो थोड़ी पढ़ना है, वो याद रखना है. Okay. Let's start with Gordon Allport. Gordon Allport, you must have heard the famous definition that Gordon Allport has given of personality. I'm not going to repeat that. But what did Gordon Allport say? Now, Gordon Allport's theory of personality was actually very close to a theory of motivation, right? Of like needs and drives. It was very close to a theory of motivation. But it wasn't the theory of motivation, it was a theory of personality. Now, how can you tell me what is the difference between personality and motivation? They're just words, right? So it has to be intermingling. Okay. What did Allport say? Allport said that personality he described in terms of friendliness, ambitiousness, cleanliness, enthusiasm, punctuality, shyness, talkativeness, dominance, submissiveness, generosity, and so forth. Basically, whatever you tell your friend when you're trying to set them up with someone, right? Have you ever done this? I'm sure you must have. But can you tell me one example of where this has happened? Oh, he's funny also, he's tall also, but has done say a certain subject, key metallurgy or something they've studied. So maybe no common interests, but they're clean. So you're like, okay, thank God. What do you describe? Bata? I don't want to ask you to give your own description, so I'm just saying your friend. So that's how Allport described people in terms of their traits, right? ठीक है. What is a trait according to Allport? A trait is a neuropsychic structure having the capacity to render many stimuli functionally equivalent and to initiate and guide equivalent, meaningfully consistent forms of adaptive and expressive behavior. Complex, of course, complex language. It's very simple. Neuropsychic structure, matlab, it has neural origins as well and it has psychological origins as well. So it's ingrained in our biology as well as our psychology, as well as our psyche. What does it do? It renders stimuli functionally equivalent. Ab render stimuli. What does render stimuli mean? Let's understand this. Can anyone raise their hand? Anyone? I'm going to ask you about like friendship or something. Anyone? क्या पूछूं? Okay, Divya. Divya, can you unmute?
Hi,
Hi, Divya. How are you?
I'm going.
Okay. Divya, if I ask you that what will you do if you go to a house party and see 10 random people?
Um, I'll go talk to them.
Okay, you'll go talk to them. Okay, great. What will you do if your friend tells you to go paragliding with them?
I'll probably want to check where and
It's a safe
when.
place.
Yeah,
What will you say?
sure, why not?
Excellent. Okay, thank you, Divya. Okay, so यहाँ पे when talking to Divya, what was the stimuli? The first stimuli was a party, and the second stimuli was a paragliding experience. And both the answers to both Divya said was yes, right? So these are stimuli. So stimuli is a party, and Divya says कि okay, party में जाके I will talk to the strangers. So that means maybe extraversion is a little high, right? Maybe we are not assuming anything, but maybe extraversion could be a little high. Ab, paragliding is also, Divya said yes. So maybe openness to experiences is also a little high. Or the exact opposite could also be true. That Divya is actually introverted and very low openness to experience. But agreeableness was high. And therefore, Divya just said yes to my questions. Right? So any stimuli, how are you adapting to it? How are you behaving towards it? How are you expressing your behavior towards it? Is what a trait does in your personality. Is this clear to everyone? This is the most time I'm spending on a slide because this is the most important because all we are going to learn today is trait theories. Okay, can you guys tell me what you would have done in these same situations? Quickly, you can raise your hand also, or you can write also. Batao, what would you have done? I would have talked to the people in the party, but I would have said no to paragliding. I'm afraid. What about you? Batao? And do you think it's consistent with your personality? So two questions you have to answer. What you would do, and is it consistent with your personality? Do you think it's consistent with your personality? Would have felt conscious in the first scenario, would have said yes to paragliding. Wow. Opposite of my answer. I think it's consistent with my personality. Can you explain rendering the stimuli functionally equivalent? What does that mean in layman terms? He has a full formula of equivalence. Let's not get into that. That's mathematical again. Functional equivalent. That it's a mathematical thing. I'll teach it later in like after say net because now it will just confuse you more. I would have talked about, I would have talked, but it might be awkward and would have said no for paragliding. Looked for a friend at a party, no paragliding cause फटती है. Consistent with personality, no to both, party, no, paragliding, yes, and consistent. Excellent. So now you guys know what a trait is, right? Now let's start the class. Okay. Problems in identifying traits, right? Let's see some common type of traits. Common traits, personal traits, general type of traits. Okay. Common traits. Those aspects of personality in respect to which most people within a given culture can be profitably compared and are indispensable whenever we undertake to study personality by scales, tests, ratings, or any other comparative method. ये बहुत बड़े बड़े words है. What they mean is, if you take a certain population, if you take a certain population of people, right, and you see that there are, say, 1 million people in this population, and you test them with various tests, like various different tests, and always you find one consistent result. One consistent result. Can we say all of these 1 million people have that trait in common? Can we say that or not? Yes or no? Excellent. Can you give me an example? I will to give, of course, but can you give me an example? Any examples that come to mind? Acha, chalo, I'll give you an example first. The first example is the state of India and the state of United States of America, right? So if you do a study on India's population, you will see a collectivist attitude emerge. And in US, you will see an individualistic attitude emerge. You know what the simplest test for this is? Out of the 30 people that are here, how many are living at home with their parents? Just say yes or no. But everyone should answer. You see how there are mostly yeses and just 2, 3 no's? If you had asked this question in USA, you would have had the opposite, right? Now, if you can think of an example, please tell me. Okay. Now, these are known as common traits. Personal traits क्या है? Personal traits determine each person's unique style of behavior. Since personal disposition reflect the subtle shadings that distinguish a particular individual from all others, they usually cannot be described with a single word. Now, even if all of you are living at home, even if all of you are collectivistic, come from a collectivistic society, that does not mean you're the same person. As we just now showed, you would perform differently in different situations. Some would say no to partying, some would say yes to paragliding. So these decisions you are taking because of your personal traits, right? So that's personal traits. ठीक है. Okay. Now these are just some general things I want you to remember. No act is ever the result of a single trait, right? So please never label your patients into saying, oh, that client is extroverted, oh, my friend is introverted, oh, they're very neurotic, right? So no act is the result of a single trait. Everything is interlinked, intermixed. Okay. Writing a letter to relative may be due to in part of the traits of responsibility, friendliness, as well as various intentions. Receiving a reply, parental pressure. So there's a lot of traits behind any single action. Okay. Personal disposition leads to behaviors that occur frequently and intensely. For example, rejecting one invitation to a party may merely indicate a temporary mood, but a person who consistently refuses to attend parties and insists on being alone would be described as shy or aloof. Here, we can say the trait of introversion is high. Not that this person is only introverted because they did not attend one party. If it is happening consistently in time, multiple times, that they prefer their own company over the company of others, this is the definition of introversion. Okay? So personal disposition will lead to behaviors which occur frequently. Okay. ये तो जनरल चीज है बस. Oh, this is a very important concept. Proprium. Proprium. What is the proprium? A proprium you can imagine as a sphere, right? Although the healthy adult personality is complicated by the presence of numerous dispositions, intentions, traits, instincts, it is organized around those matters that are most personal and important. Self ego, ठीक है. Alpert refers to this unifying core of personality, which is the proprium, as the proprium. Includes 8 personal characteristics that develop at different times of life. ठीक है. ना वो 8 पर्सनल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स थोड़ा सा देखना होगा तो देखेंगे, नॉट दैट इम्पोर्टेंट. प्रोप्रियम क्या है? ओके. ओके, लेट्स सी. Would you describe yourself as a jealous person? Yes or no? Simple answer. Yes or no? Would you describe yourself as a jealous person? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. ठीक है. So some yeses, some no's, 50-50. Now, tell me, have you ever been jealous of anything, of anyone in your entire life? Have you ever been jealous? See, तो ये सब कुछ yes है. तो now should I say कि okay, now you're a jealous person. Jealous is one of the characteristics in your proprium. No, this would be incorrect. What does the proprium involve? It involves the most important, the most regular, the most intense, the most personal characteristics which occur consistently in your behavior. So, the best way to describe a proprium is to do this experiment. Ki, can you guys tell me 3 adjectives that your friends describe you as? 3 adjectives that your friends say you are. Quickly, quickly. बताओ. Emotionally sensitive. 3 adjectives that your friends say कि तुम ये हो. Empathetic, introvert, self-critical. Empathetic, introvert, self-critical. तो ये एक प्रोप्रियम है ऑफ जूही. थ्री थ्री बताने हैं. फ्रेंडली, chaotic, ओके. केयरिंग, सोशल, सपोर्टिव. केयरिंग, सोशल, सपोर्टिव, ये प्रोग्राम किसका है? दिव्या का. So your proprium has your unifying core of personality. This is how you react most of the time. Okay, ठीक है. प्रोपियम क्लियर हो गया सबको? कटल के पास जाए अभी. कटल इज द लॉन्गेस्ट टुडे. उसके बाद तो हो जाएगा. ओके, इज प्रोप्रियम क्लियर टू एवरीवन? वाई 8? अरे वो कट ऑलपोर्ट को लगा था 8. ही हैज गिवन 8. जैसे इसने कट, हाउ मेनी डिड कटल गिव? टेल मी. लॉजिक, थोड़ा स्टेटिस्टिकल एनालिसिस, सैंपल लेके कटल ने 16 दिए थे. बट इज इट क्लियर? प्रोप्रियम क्लियर टू एवरीवन? यस और नो? क्विकली क्विकली इन द चैट. Yes or no? Yes or no? I got a toy. Says it's a super glow stick. Bend the super glow stick, shake to start the glow. Wow. You want me to do live glow stick reaction? See? It says bend first though. I don't know how to bend it. टूट जाएगी ना? नहीं टूटेगी. ठीक है, एंड में करता हूँ क्लास के. Okay, I have to go make egg burji. Should I wait or multitask? What? Are you sure you send this message in the right WhatsApp group, Divya? ठीक है. Raymond Cattell. Raymond Cattell is one of the most important figures in personality psychology. Okay, all personality theories which are currently used, जैसे Neo 5 वगैरह, all of them are possible because of Cattell's contribution to the field. Okay, one question that Net loves and you must remember is who used factor analysis for the first time in personality psychology. So the answer is Raymond Cattell. Okay, I'll tell you what Cattell did exactly, but before that, let's see what Cattell thought personality is. Okay. He said that personality will enable us to predict what a person will do in a given situation. For example, if I knew Divya's personality, I would say कि हाँ ये अभी एक बुर्जी बना रही है, or I would say कि no, Divya is multitasking. Okay, but I don't, so I can't predict. Okay, Cuddle like Allport described these relatively stable and predictable characteristics in terms of traits, but his approach differs in four significant respects. ठीक है? He concludes that the basic elements of personality, source traits, can be identified only by using factor analysis. He says some traits can, of course, be unique, with many genuine common traits shared to varying degrees by different individuals. Basically, what he's trying to say is that only by the method of factor analysis can we realize source traits of a person. Now, what are source traits? Source traits are traits which are say सेंट्रल टू यू. जैसे सेंट्रल कार्डिनल ट्रेट्स वगैरह दिए थे ना, किसने दिए थे बताओ? वी डिड नॉट टॉक अबाउट दिस. और ये पूछने वाला है आपको एग्जाम में. हु गेव कार्डिनल सेंट्रल एंड सेकेंडरी ट्रेट्स? अरे एग्जैक्टली, ऑलपोर्ट नहीं दिए थे. राइट. कार्डिनल कार्डिनल सेंट्रल एंड सेकेंडरी. ओके. हाउ मेनी कार्डिनल ट्रेट्स आर देयर इन वन पर्सन? बताओ, जल्दी बताओ. हाउ मेनी कार्डिनल ट्रेट्स इन वन पर्सन? गेस गेस. वन. ओके. हाउ मेनी सेंट्रल ट्रेट्स? 5 to 10. And how many secondary traits? Multiple, बहुत सारे, innumerable, n. Okay. Cardinal traits चल max 1.52 पकड़ लो. But cardinal traits are what you can be described in one word. This is who this person is. This trait will affect all behavior in your life. Okay. And this is known as a cardinal trait. Central traits मतलब पांच 10 central traits है which define your behavior in different life events, different developmental stages, and which define you as a person. Proprium में जो होते हैं basically, समझ लो आप. ठीक है. And secondary traits are also known as situational traits. मतलब in one situation you might display one trait and in another situation you might display the exact opposite trait. ठीक है. Okay. Now let's get back to Cattell. He liked psychoanalytic theory also. मुझे पसंद है इसलिए मैंने ये डाल दिया. But he more clearly distinguishes between the motivational and structural aspect of personality. Who did not distinguish a lot was Alport. Okay, all right. Before we go to all of this, let me tell you what factor analysis is. I'm sure you know already, but basically, what factor analysis does, what factor analysis does is factor reduction, right? Factor reduction is one of the goals of factor analysis. Matlab, if I describe you as being outgoing, if I describe you as being sociable if I describe you as being preferring company of others, then all what factor analysis will do is correlate all of these and bring them back to a single factor. What is this factor called as? Tell me. What is this factor that we have identified just now? We have identified extraversion. Now, the point of factor analysis is that there exists no other factor which can be clubbed in here. So you can't say, ki, okay, extraversion and being friendly will lead to another factor, which is something else. Extraversion is the base factor. It's the source trait, right? Things can be added here. 100 things can be added here. And that's how factor analysis is done. But nothing can be added here. Ki, oh, extraversion and friendly will make another trait. No. So Big Five did exactly this. Big Five, which are, this is I'm teaching Big Five right now only, which is ocean basically, right? Openness to experience, conscientiousness, extraversion, agreeableness, and finally neuroticism. All five are the source traits when you study all theories of personality, take in everything, and after a big correlation, after a big factor analysis, you see that the structure of personality is reduced to these five things that people have in different or different amounts. Okay, ठीक है. I hope factor analysis is clear to everyone. अरे ठीक है. Okay, dynamic traits पे आते हैं. Erg sentiments and attitudes is a small thing to tell you what is ergs, what is sentiments, and what is attitudes. Human behavior is energized, directed towards specific goals by dynamic traits. Different traits that keep changing are dynamic traits. Some of these motivational traits are inborn, others are learned through contact with the environment. अब instinct जो word है, that had already been used by different theorists in different theories. So Cattell said that he will refer to hereditary motive and hereditary parts of personality as ergs, after the Greek word ergon for work or energy. Ergs, he said, are the hereditary part of personality, hereditary motives. Okay. So if there's a personality, there's hereditary parts and there is socially learned parts. So hereditary parts are known as ergs. Okay. Learned dynamic traits include general pattern of behavior, which he called as sentiments, and specific tendencies and actions he called as attitudes. So ergs, sentiments, and attitudes. Okay. This is how we defined some aspects of personality. Okay, this is just a list of some traits, right? Food, mating, exploration are ergs, well substantiated ergs. Tentative is rest, disgust, laughter. मतलब जाते रहता है. This stays. Okay. Dynamic traits में attitude, sentiments, we can see that we want a stronger system of national defense is a learned attitude. Was this inborn? Want danger of death reduced? Was this inborn? Patriotism, love of country, was this inborn? Favor funding medical research, preference for political parties, support mothers against drunk driving. I mean, of course, right? Do you want mothers to drive drunk? बताओ कोई है क्या यहाँ पे ऐसा कि नो 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 मदर्स शुड ड्राइव ड्रंक ओनली है क्या yes no no right but what does this mean this was this something which is an erg were you born with the motivation that mothers should not drive drunk you learn this through society right so this is a sentiment ठीक है this is just their elaborating on sentiments you can read through this that would be better फैक्टर एनालाइजिंग एटीट्यूड से सेंटिमेंट्स आते हैं they of course vary in strengths they are neither an innate nor permanent different people will have different strength of orgs different they will be innate but they will not be innate but they will not be permanent also It is possible to change them. Whatever you learned, whatever you think is hereditary in childhood, does not have to remain so in adulthood. You can learn and unlearn patterns. That is the point of change. Okay. ठीक है. Subsidization chains. Subsidization chains. ठीक है. I'll tell you what this is. अरे इसको मैथ्स बहुत पसंद आया कटेल को actually. So everything he made into some mathematical thing. Basically, the relationship, जैसे we learn the theory of reciprocal determinism, right? What is the theory? What three things affect each other? Environment. तो वैसे ही what Cattell said is the relationship between an attitude, a sentiment, and an earth is known as a subsidization chain. Okay, it's just known as a subsidization chain. मरे से ये टर्म बोरो किया था उसने. Okay, so let's see an example. Ki what is a subsidization chain? Wishing and voting for a stronger system of national defense is an attitude. Sentiment is patriotism and love for country, and earth is security. So this relationship is known as a subsidization chain. What is a dynamic lattice? This is a dynamic lattice. Different connections of subsidization chains is known as a dynamic lattice. Okay. Of course, बहुत crisscross करेगा. Wife's hairstyle will be somewhere related to photography, how they want to be perceived, will be related with self-assertion, but also protection. Right? How can wife's hairstyle be related to protection? Because the wife knows it's unsafe for them to go outside because men are outside. So they know where to wear which hairstyle, right? Which is a very sad thing that they're undergoing. But that's how it is. Clothes, for example, right? Divorce reform would be, of course, connected to political parties in some manner, connected to country also. Is it legal? Is it not legal? What is the India may it's looked down upon, USA may it's fine, right? So this is a dynamic lattice. Okay. ठीक है. Okay. Oh, this is very important. Very, very important. This is asked so many times in MPhil also, in NET JRF also, in GATE also. I am tired of getting this question wrong. इस साल भी आया था ये 2-3 एग्जाम्स में. How attitudes are measured through Cattell's methods, but it's taken by everyone. Okay. Cattell uses 3 methods. Okay. Before you factor analyze anything, you'll have to first measure how much attitude, what attitude the person has, right? So there's 3 type of data that I want you to remember. Okay, 3 type: Q data, T data, L data. Q data is self-reports and questionnaires. Q data is self-reports and questionnaires. You come in, you fill a questionnaire, that's known as Q data. Written and other tests is known as test data, matlab T data. Different tests if you are giving, and you are not writing what you think of yourself. It's not self-report questionnaire. It's a test, proper test. Solve this, do that. That is T data. Examining life records such as academic report cards, employers' ratings, your personal diary, your Instagram stories, your archive, your personal account, your spam account, your one account which you used to follow celebrities but nobody knows about. So all of these accounts, if we see, and we see what you like, what do you dislike. So that is known as L data. Okay. Is this clear to everyone? Yes or no? I feel like you guys are very tired. Otherwise, यहाँ पे पक्का that would you would have said something. Are you guys tired? Okay, okay. वैसे तो काफी पीपीटी बची है. ठीक है. I won't finish this. I'll take it tomorrow or something. It won't take a lot of time. But Cattell, let's finish because Cattell has a lot of information. Okay, let's finish in 10-15 minutes. Is that okay? ठीक है. Great. ओके, तो 10-15 मिनट्स के लिए कैन वी हैव अ गुड एनर्जी, मतलब हाई एनर्जी, गुड तो है ही। ठीक है, लेट्स गो। व्हाट इज द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी अकॉर्डिंग टू कटे? ओके, temperament traits and ability traits are concerned with the style and success of our actions, how we do, what we do, and how well we do it. So how well is basically ability. Okay, what we do is connected more to temperament. What did Cadell do? Alport had a big list of around 4,000, 5,000 traits, and Cattell did a factor analysis of these traits and identified a far smaller number from 4,000 to 5,000, around say 1632, 16 traits, which he defines as his which he defines with his own particular brand of neologism. So in neologisms, I don't think you guys have seen इसके पहले, but we are going to see today. What is a neologism? क्या है? What is neologism? Made up words, as if other words are naturally occurring and they are, we can see them on trees, but neologisms. Okay. तो उसकी इन्वेंटरी वाज नोन एज 16 पर्सनालिटी फैक्टर क्वेश्चन है, राइट? अब दिस इज द 16 पीएफ ओरिजिनली written down by our own Raymond Patel Ray. Okay, so reserved, detached, critical, aloof, and outgoing. Low intelligence, high intelligence, low ego strength, submissiveness, dominance, desurgency, surgency. Now let's see. Okay, let's see. So we'll cover 16 factors and we'll go. Okay, all factors you know already, so they're not going to be uh, difficult at all. But I want you to tell me where you lie in all of these factors. So I will say affectia scisia, and you will tell me, are you more affectia or are you more scisia? Okay. So neologisms are fun. Okay. One of the most important factor, right? Basically, it's extroversion and introversion. Okay. Affect affectics are outgoing, warm-hearted, easygoing, enjoy meeting people, successful psychotherapy. Wow. Okay. Physics are reserved, detached, critical, aloof, more writers, scientists, artists, musicians, creative. बताओ, अफेक्टिया और सिजिया, क्विकली, हु आर यू? लिख के रखा करो, मोर अफेक्टिया और मोर सिजिया। बताओ बताओ, अफेक्टिया सिजिया मिक्स? अरे ऑप्शन ही नहीं है मिक्स, एक बताओ। बोथ लिटिल लिटिल? अरे यार, आउट ऑफ सिलेबस आंसर ही बताते हो तुम लोग। ठीक है, ये चलो, ये फैक्टर में बताते हैं। फैक्टर बी वाज जस्ट इंटेलिजेंस, राइट? कैपेसिटी फॉर एब्स्ट्रैक्ट थिंकिंग मेजर्ड थ्रू। अच्छा मुझे बताओ, इंटेलिजेंस विल बी मेजर्ड थ्रू विच टाइप ऑफ डेटा? वेरी फेमस एमसीक्यू ऑफ नेट, which type of data did Cattell use to measure factor B intelligence? Yes, exactly. T data. सेल्फ रिपोर्ट थोड़ी करेंगे कि डू यू थिंक यू आर इंटेलिजेंट? यस आई एम इंटेलिजेंट, ग्रेट, हाई इंटेलिजेंस, ऐसे थोड़ी होगा। सो टेस्ट डेटा इज यूजुअली यूज्ड, आईक्यू टेस्ट यार। ओके, second largest structural factor, high intelligence, low intelligence. Ego strength was the third factor, right? कि can you control your own impulses, can you remain calm, deal realistically, right? Ego strength is a characteristic of virtually all forms of psychopathology. It is also common among accountants, clerks, artists, and professors. Okay. Dominant submissiveness was another factor E, right? Dominant people are assertive, aggressive, competitive, stubborn, whereas submissive individuals are humble, docile, and accommodating. More commonly noted in males. Wow, I guess why? Because that's how the society is built. They are allowed to be dominant. People ascribe this to biology often, but it's not completely true. Athletes, engineers, psychologists, notably Freud. Wow, खुद ही लिख दिया notably Freud. Submissiveness is exemplified by females. Wow. Priests, farmers, clerks, Gandhi. Wow. Sociopaths are high in dominance, neurotics and more psychotics are submissive. Okay. देखो कैसे what is the base of psychology you can see here. Do you guys agree with all of this? Yes or no? Quickly बताओ. No बोल रहा है. Shambhavi Singh, no. I don't know what no is. Okay. Thank you for not. Surgency, desurgency. This trait bears some similarity to factor A. Cattell regards as a different form of behavior. Okay. Surgency is happy-go-lucky, enthusiastic, impulsive, and desurgency sober, taciturn, and serious demeanor. Right? You see these some people, right? They go on trips and they're very happy. Oh my God, let's go out. Let's just look everywhere. And I just want to, it's so good. And you've gotten off a 24-hour train journey. किसी का पैर टूट गया है, someone is vomiting, and this person is just happy go lucky. Okay. Forget punishment easily. Desurgency may you have a serious, sober, taciturn demeanor. Okay. Superego strength is factor G. Superego strength though is self-explanatory also, right? Low in criminals and sociopaths. High in super ego strength are pilots, priests, musicians, Abraham Lincoln. Wow, famous figures भी दी है. Super ego strength is basically moral principles. How often and easily can you follow? Do you break your morality very quickly, or are you following your moral rules? Okay. Factor H. Parmia threatica. Threctia. Parmia threctia. Parmia. Or venturesome boldness. Wow, what a word. Typified by a brash salesperson, competitive athletes, musicians, and practicing psychologists. High in sociopaths. The converse, which is shy timidity, which is threctia, is characteristics of priests, farmers, OCD neurotics, and attempted suicides. Okay. Now tell me, are you more parmia or more threctia? Quickly. Are you more venturesome bold or are you more shy timid? पारमिया और थ्रेक्टिया. बताओ बताओ. Glow stick time soon, by the way. Oh man, only three answers. बहुत थक गए हो क्या तुम लोग? ठीक है, आ ही गए हम एंड पे. अभी Q4 वगैरह आ जाएगा थोड़े टाइम में. प्रेमसिया हैरिया पे आते हैं. व्हाट इज प्रेमसिया हैरिया मैन? हैरिया पॉटर. प्रेमसिया. कुछ तो गाना है प्रेमसिया. ओके. फैक्टर वाज पोजिटेड 100 years ago by विलियम जेम्स. विलियम जेम्स क्या लिखा है विलियम जेम्स ने? हु इज विलियम जेम्स? ओ मैन. ठीक है, लेट्स जस्ट फिनिश दिस. यस, फंक्शनलिस्ट. 1890 में आई थिंक विलियम जेम्स रोट प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ साइकोलॉजी. आई एम नॉट श्योर. राइट. तो प्रेमसिया हैरिया. प्रेमसिया is protected emotional sensitivity, refers to tender mindedness and dependency. High in artists, professors, administrators, social workers, neurotics, criminals, and Roosevelt attempted suicides. Haria is hard realism, involves tough mindedness and self reliance. Physical scientists, pilots, police officers, and Napoleon. बताओ, more Premsia or more Harrier? बताओ बताओ. Are you a hard realist or are you a emotionally sensitive, protected person? Tender minded, which is a great thing to be. Premsia or Harrier? Quickly, quickly. Okay. Factor L, pretension, alaxia. Pretension and alaxia. Pretension is Freudian concept of projected anger and introverted. Paranoid suspiciousness. Common among artists, criminals, homosexuals. What? Yeah. Insane time of psychology. Yaar. Insane. Let's not cross this. Let's just write wrong here. Okay. Protension is the resemblance of Freudian concept of projected anger and introverted paranoid suspiciousness. अब इसका क्या मतलब है मैं समझाता हूँ. Okay. I am afraid that you are going to plot against me and get me fired. Right? I believe that you are angry at me. In fact, when I am angry with you. So this common occurrence is known as protension. Right? Alaxia is a trusting and accepting approach. You know, I trust you. You're not going to, I'm not suspicious of you. I'm not, you, I don't think you are angry at me. Right? So that is alaxia. Right? Batao, more protension or more alaxia? Quickly, quickly, quickly. Protension or alaxia? बताओ. Alaxia. Okay, I have one answer. Oh man, I can feel your tiredness. ठीक है, हो रहा है, खत्म हो रहा है बस. ओके. ऑटिया एंड प्रैक्सरनिया. क्या नियोलॉजिज्म्स है यार. ऑटिया derived from autistic, involves disdain for the external world, absent-mindedness, unconventional behavior, and imaginativeness. And praxarnia is practical person, reflects a practical, down-to-earth approach to life. Okay, अब बताओ, more ऑटिया और more praxarnia? Are you more practical or are you more ऑटिया? Okay. Shrewdness, artlessness. Shrewdness, astuteness, social awareness are more common in business executive, psychologist, salesperson, and worldly individuals as Casanova. ठीक है. Artlessness, wow. Shrewdness, artlessness is what a term to call someone. That you're artless, not heartless, artless. Okay, factor of guilt proneness and untroubled adequacy. Guilt proneness matlab instantly saying I am sorry. Right? Nothing has happened. You've not done anything wrong, but you're just saying I'm sorry because there's that guilt that is nagging at you at all sense of times, right? But untroubled adequacy would be, hey, I'm good enough, I am secure, I'm self-assured, I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, right? Now tell me, which are you? Are you more guilt prone or are you more untroubled adequate? GP or UA? Quickly, last two slides anyway. ओके. Q1 Q4 फोर क्यू फैक्टर्स रहते हैं. क्यू मतलब क्या होगा? क्यू डेटा से यू हैव फॉर्म्ड इट, राइट? फॉर्म्ड फ्रॉम क्यू डेटा. रेडिकलिज्म, कंजर्वेटिज्म इज वन, राइट? कि फ्री मतलब रेडिकल फ्री थिंकिंग बिहेवियर इज फाउंड मोर इन कम्युनिज्म, इन मार्क्स, इन बर्नार्ड शॉ, लियोनार्डो डा विंची, नेपोलियन. एंड कंजर्वेटिज्म इज मोर इन चर्च, राइट? कि ट्रेडिशनैलिटी, हिस्ट्री, कल्चर, दैट इज कंजर्वेटिज्म. Q2 is self-sufficiency and group adherence. Are you self-reliant? Are you resourceful? Or do you ask your friend to go with you here and there, right? That is group adherence. Self-sentiment strength. Self-sentiment is is concerned with integrating personality and maintaining a sense of identity. Self-sentiment strength is high among university administrators, pilots, scientists, paranoids. Low matlab laxity and impulsiveness. सेल्फ सेंटिमेंट स्ट्रेंथ इज बेसिकली ईगो स्ट्रेंथ, बट ये क्यू डेटा से आया है कि आर यू मोर इम्पल्सिव और आर यू एबल टू कंट्रोल योर सेंटिमेंट्स. ओके. एंड लास्ट कॉन्सेप्ट फॉर टुडे इज अर्गिक टेंशन. This trait bears some relationship to undischarged instinctual energy. Okay, what does this mean? I'll tell you. Those who are high in ergic tension are tense, frustrated, and driven, and those low in ergic tension are relaxed, tranquil, and composed. I'll explain through one example and I hope it makes it clear. Right? Undischarged energy will create tension, right? There is energy within you, and if it's not discharged outside, if it remains inside, it will create tension. So when you have a fight with your friend, that time ergic tensions are high. 1 hour after that. Okay. But then what happens is that you cry it out. You hug, you cry it out, it's okay. Your nose is also flowing, some is going in your mouth also. But you're crying, ki, no, you're my best friend. There, ergic tension is released. And then it is low. Does this make sense? Yes or no? Is ergic tension clear to everyone? Quickly. Last concept for today. हो गया आज का class. Yes, no, I think हम बाद में करेंगे. बताओ बताओ. Clear? Okay. ठीक है फिर. Thank you for attending today's class. I hope you guys had fun. After a long time, I'm coming back to teaching psychology. I'm also very excited. आज थोड़ा एनर्जी कम था मेरे में भी आप में भी इट्स ओके नेक्स्ट क्लास विल पिक इट अप ओके थैंक यू गाइस सी यू लेटर